Call Allah Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'ashim Kakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect. In the same spirit, the one that y'all all continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akmat Yom, believers of this faith and this truth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is just a recap on camp. It's just some verses that I didn't bring out. One of them I did, and I just want to bring these out because we started with Galatians, the 6th chapter. Let me actually bring that out first before we go anywhere. Let's go to Galatians chapter 6 and verse 14, and I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, "As for me, may I never boast about anything except the cross of our Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach. Because of that cross, my interest in this world has been crucified, and the world's interest in me has also died." Right? This is something to always have, on your mind, that everything of this world was hung on the cross of Yahawashi. When Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, all the things that he see under the sun is vanity. He had pools, houses, gardens, all these other things, but he said it was meaningless. And when you actually get in these scriptures, the main thing is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You don't want to boast on the things that you do have in this side, but we should be boasting in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So let's just get to these few scriptures that I have written down in my phone notebook. First, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 29:29. And it says, "The secret things belong unto Yahweh our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law." Now, it's a video I watched from the elder of GMS, South Carolina, and it was a brother that was trying to say that, it's false that us calling ourselves Hebrew Israelite, and it's no history or proof, artifacts that we can prove that we are the Israelites, right? We really truly live by faith. You have to be able to understand prophecies, apply them to what happened in the past, and apply them to the prophecies that's going to happen in the future, let alone the things that was prophesied on this nation. We can see through history, especially when we look at World War I, World War II. It's in the scriptures. When we look at Rome, it's in the scriptures. When we look at the Greek captivity, the Persian Medes captivity, the Babylonian captivity, that's in the scriptures, right? And this is a people that was on high and they became low, right? And what fulfills certain prophecies of the northern kingdom coming to this land before anybody even was living here. And then the Europeans came, was massacring millions and millions of natives, and then eventually came and got the southern kingdom and brought them here. Nobody else can fit that category because we rebuilded this new kingdom just like we did the ones of old. So these secrets that's in the scriptures is really not for everybody. Because when you look at the 2/3, like the ones that say that they're in this faith that's going to be judged, 1 Peter 4:17, they're the elect of the 2/3. These secrets wasn't even for them, right? Because these is a mystery for the elect to understand, right? And I'm going to get another one that I know is on the list without looking. You go to Isaiah 8:20. It says, I'm in the wrong chapter. Isaiah 8:20. It says, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." Right? You have to understand and dabble in the law, and you have to understand the testimonies that was prophesied from the prophets, right? Depending on if we're talking about a testimony what happened to Israel, testimony of Yahweh, testimony of Yahawashi, that was really a secret unto the believers. That's why when Yahawashi came on earth, he was speaking in multiple parables, a earthly story but a heavenly matter, because it was a secret. Everybody can't get these secrets. And we all had moments where we was giving secrets to some people and somebody else couldn't get it. It wasn't for them. This secret is only for the elect, the ones that are in the light, The ones that are not, when you read in the NLT, it says, if you contradict this word, you are in darkness. So let's go to Psalms 78 that I got written down. Psalm 78, verse 2 and 7, 2 to 7, it says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which really Yahawashi was doing that when he touched the earth, which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us. We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generations to come the praises of Yahweh, his strength, and his wonderful works that he hath done. For he established a testimony in Jacob, right? And appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers that they should make them known to their children, right? This is a real order. This is a requirement. We should be teaching our children, right? Yes, we going into the law. We teaching the testimony on what was said to the children of Israel if they fall away from the Lord. We're going to tell them the testimony of the great deliverer, the Messiah, because he's spoken in the law, in the Psalms, and in the prophets, and then he actually comes in the New Testament, right? So we have to teach our kids these things, right? Again, even the children which should be born, you should arise and declare them to your children, that they might set their hope in God and not forget the works of God, but keep his commandments. We should be teaching our children the work of Yahawashi, his miracles and his wonders. It's going to help our children, when they walk outside, they know that Yahawashi is real, right? Shoot, your kids have to know that we have to suffer for these things. Things are not going to be peaches and roses wherever we go. They're going to be dealing with spirits too. We have to teach our people, teach your household the law and the testimony of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And the secrets involved in those things. This is why the Lord set up teachers just for us. He set up teachers just for us. That is love, right? We go to Matthew, the 11th chapter, because we have examples of false teachers. We have examples to show you how Yahawashi did with them. This is Matthew 11. I'm going to start at 26. It says, even so, Father, for so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. And no man knoweth the Son but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father save the Son. And he to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Right? Yahawashi is the one that's going to lighten our burden. And Yahawashi is going to reveal the Father unto us. Because truly, when you see Yahawashi, how he teach, how he move, Yahawashi is the full example of how the Lord wants you to move. Yahawashi is the example of us getting everlasting life. Yahawashi is the example of us getting salvation, because salvation means to deliver or a defense. And Yahawashi is our defender, and he's going to save us and give us that salvation, right? We're going to be under his authority, right? In power, So this is why this is a very key. We're not mustering and holding all onto the law, right? We're establishing the law, but we're boasting on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, right? And it's things that we desire in this world. It's things that we want and this and that. But the main thing, if you don't have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua dwelling in you, all those things is meaningless. Even with him dwelling in you, they're all meaningless, right? And we're getting into a time where this world is evolving to something new. And it's really Esau trying to establish his new system, right? We're supposed to spiritually and mentally get out of this system by getting back to the root of what is our purpose, right? What is it? St. John 4:34. This is what Yahawashi said. He said, Yahawashi saith unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. When we come in this thing, it's not just only about knowing you're an Israelite. It's coming in this thing knowing the purpose that the Lord has for you. Now, I'm a man. Now, I don't know if the Lord is moving you to read and teach, edify your household, edify the sheep, right? The Lord set up people in different orders, right? We have laborers You might have somebody that the Lord made the head of this thing. You got other brothers that came in probably 20, 30 years way later, right? But they have an ability to prophesy, right? Maybe speak in other languages. They might have a position of being a leader or putting things in order. We have to use the talent that the Lord has given us and be the example of Yahawashi Shai's truth, right? Literally, 1 John 2 and 6, if we abide in Yahawashi, we ought to walk like him. If you walk like him, you're going to start to talk like him, right? Because Yahawashi didn't come to be ministered unto, he came to minister, right? And this is why it's very important that the men of the Lord, whoever they may be, which I do believe I'm able to see who my teachers is. I do believe that the men of the Lord is right in my face, Lord willing, they are in your face. And the things that they're teaching is not of this world. The words that they're speaking is not of this world, right? This is very weird. This is very different, but this is leading us to getting our salvation, right? So let's get Matthew 23, verse 1 to 7, and this goes into the Pharisees getting exposed. It says, Then spake Yahawashi to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe. So we should be observing these Pharisees, seeing what they do, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, but they say and do not. Now Pharisees was all about law, law, law. We see people that's all about law, law, law. We observe and we do, but we don't do what they do. You got some that could be pushing the words and the laws of Yahweh Shem Shai, and they're pushing the business in between this ministry. Or brothers can be pushing the law and then prophesy, oh, when Yahawashi comes, he's going to open a portal and this is going to be hell. Or the 2/3 are going to burn forever. Or the MOTB is sin. And it's sin or spiritual. Right? Those things we want to observe, especially since I can see myself and many other brothers can see themselves as being a teacher. You don't want to teach what they're teaching. Right? It says, But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. And there's a lot of us that come in this truth that say and do not. We don't want to be of that cloth. For they bear heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and they and lay them on men's shoulders. But they themselves will not move with one of their finger, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries, right? This is when they're using they use those the commandments tied on their wrist or their hand and then have it on their forehead. And there's people that's always pushing the law where your phylacteries. It says and enlarge the borders of their garments, right? Because they want to be seen or noticed, right? And this is how you see it's no t-shirt, it's garments. Even the false teachers was wearing garments. Now we got men that could be in a false cloth and they're wearing t-shirts, right? It says in love the uttermost room at feast and the chief seat in the synagogues and greetings in the markets and to be called of men rabbi, rabbi, which is teacher, right? And we don't want to take this position, right? Trying to take the high seat, right? Yahawashi was even low himself. This is why Yahawashi is the best example, especially being a man or especially just being a child of Yahweh and being obedient, being humble, you know? And yes, we are human. You might flash your outfit, what car you driving, what motorcycle, bike, whatever it can be. I mean, we are human, right? But at the end of the day, the Lord put us in a position that we want to be an example because we don't want to offend one of the little ones that can be looking how we're moving. And really through the spirit, how you could be moving and you could be offending the Lord's ministry. The Lord is really seeing you. It's just like in Acts, the 5th chapter, verse 39. Anybody that's bumping against this ministry is really fighting against the Lord. So say if you faking the funk in this thing, you truly going against the Lord, and you really think you one of the children of Yahweh Shem Yahawashi. We're not in this thing for entertainment. We're not in this thing to make ourselves of that number. right? We're trying to come in this thing lowly and humble. And yeah, you want to call yourself, Lord willing, I am one of the hopeful elect because you're hoping to be. Literally, your work should be shown into it. So back to Matthew 11:29, it says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. So we went to Galatians 6:14. For me to really not care for the things of this world, I have to learn the Yahawashi. We already seen in St. John 4:34, he said his meat was to do the will of his Father, of him that sent me. What is our works? Right? Learning of Yahawashi, right? We already read Matthew 11:27. When you go to Matthew 28:20, that's dealing with Yahawashi, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. When you go to Matthew 4:4, he said, we shouldn't eat by bread alone, but eat every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord. Yahawashi was showing us the example that we should be eating the whole roll, or dealing with the whole volume of the book, right? We should be Luke 6:46-48. Why call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. First and foremost, this is just saying what the Lord set up. If you calling yourself a teacher and you're prophesying and teaching the Lord's word, you have to be an example of this thing for the other sheep to come into belief. Let alone we come in this thing, people are going to rise up and be against this truth, right? The more that this is growing, the more young men, older folks are going to bump up against this. The more you got people that's being a blame to this ministry, you're getting pointed out that you're not of this, right? Now, verse 48, it says, he is like a man which built a house and dig deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood arose, the stream beat violently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was found upon a rock. That rock is Hamashiach Yahushua. This is the format, right? The format is Hamashiach Yahushua. Lay all our burdens. Learn of Yahushua. Be diligent. Be sincere about this, man, right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. We got other points that we could make. Oh, wait, hold on. St. John 13:15. This one right here, click. This right here, click. He said, for I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done. Call Allah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kakodash. Think about it. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done. The Wadi Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for allowing me to bring forth this lesson. Lord willing that y'all was all edified through the Spirit. And with that again, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kakodash. The honors to the elder apostles. And the mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect. With that, Shalom. Shalom.